Tonight, Hurricane Helene tears an enormous and deadly path of destruction, and it's not over yet.
The priority now is saving lives.
Floods, landslides, and a dangerous storm surge leading to dramatic rescues. We're in Florida surveying the tremendous damage.
I was just devastated. I fell to my knees.
Where Helene is headed now. Airstrikes rock Beirut as Israel reportedly targets the head of Hezbollah.
Coming days will determine which path this region is on.
The growing fears over what could come next. Remembering an acting legend.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
From the King to Harry Potter himself. Tributes for Maggie Smith.
Enjoying ourselves, are we?
Her long legacy on stage and screen.
From CBC News, this is The National with Ian Hennemanson.
And we begin tonight in the southeastern U.S., where millions of people are feeling the disastrous impact of what was Hurricane Helene. At least 40 people are dead across 5 states, and rescues are underway as communities in multiple states are underwater. More than 4 million people are without power from Florida to Ohio after Helene triggered flooding, landslides, even tornadoes as it swept through. It is now a tropical depression, but officials are still warning of high winds and potentially catastrophic flooding in some places. Helene made landfall late last night as a Category 4 storm, slamming South Florida's Big Bend and quickly moving inland to Georgia. Today it weakened as it sprawled across a number of states and into the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. Helene expected to ease slowly tomorrow as it moves north into Ohio. Katie Nicholson is in Tampa, Florida tonight, not far from where Helene first made landfall. And Katie, you've witnessed a dramatic day.
Yeah, and a day full of dramatic shifts. This bridge that we're on, the Howard Franklin Bridge, this was closed this time last night because of that storm. And just north of us, where more of that destruction really occurred, many still without power. And just across this bridge is Pinellas County. That's where the first 5 deaths that occurred during this storm system occurred. And of course, sadly, they certainly weren't the last. A hurricane no more, but no less deadly.
It is a very dangerous environment, and one of our finest has lost his life trying to save others.
Georgia hit hard. Among the dead, a firefighter killed by a fallen tree. Helene inundated Atlanta with flash floods, prompting heroic rescues, like this mother and her infant. In North Carolina, communities already bloated with rainfall saw streets turn to rivers.
The priority now is saving lives. Helene is causing life-threatening flash flooding, numerous landslides, and downed trees, causing power outages.
Few in Helene's sprawling path have been spared. Nearly 50 patients waited on the roof of a flooded Tennessee hospital for helicopters to whisk them away to dry land. More than 1 million people along the Appalachian Mountains across several states under threat from rapidly rising water. Florida was the first to experience Helene's wrath. An uneasy night of violent winds, land-gobbling storm surges, and dramatic water rescues. The Coast Guard pulling a man and his dog, both in life jackets, from a sailboat that ran into trouble. Friday spent taking stock of the damage and restoring power to millions. In Steinhatchee, where Helene hit hardest with 215 km/h winds, mobile homes were washed into the water. Overhead, search and rescue crews combed over the area just in case. Stormwater smashed through the Reed family home.
This is the living room.
Nearly 2 meters of water upended everything inside.
I was just devastated. I fell to my knees, got sick on my stomach. I thought I was going to pass out.
Her parents followed the evacuation orders. They're safe, but deeply sad about what they lost.
The chest that you've seen sitting out in the front that we just took out, it has all of our baby pictures, our kids' pictures. That's all in there.
A lifetime of memories, reduced in one storm to a soggy box of treasures. And Ian, there are likely to be many Pamelas from Florida all the way up to Ohio once this storm system is all said and done. Governors from all of these states in Helene's path saying it could take weeks and millions of dollars to recover.
Katie Nicholson reporting from Tampa, Florida tonight. Tonight, Beirut is smoldering after multiple waves of Israeli airstrikes pummeled the densely populated city. The Beirut skyline lighting up with explosions. Israel saying it's targeting Hezbollah weapons depots and senior leadership, including this strike earlier in the day, which leveled apartments said to target the head of Hezbollah himself, Hassan Nasrallah. At least 6 were killed in that attack, but many are believed to still be buried under the rubble. Senior international correspondent Margaret Evans is in Beirut, where the fear is this is only the beginning.
The moment massive Israeli airstrikes hit the Lebanese capital, sending plumes of smoke up over Beirut's southern reaches. Smoke as thick as the fear on the ground that a full-scale war is now inevitable. It was the most powerful Israeli attack on Beirut in the conflict so far. Rescue workers arrived to search flattened buildings in the Dahya, the densely packed southern neighborhood known as a Hezbollah stronghold. The number of dead still unknown, but tonight 2 children were rescued from the rubble alive. An Israeli military spokesman called the attack a precise strike on the Iran-backed militia.
Hezbollah's central headquarters was intentionally built under residential buildings in the heart of the Dahya in Beirut, as part of Hezbollah's strategy of using Lebanese people as human shields.
It's widely reported that Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, was the target. Hezbollah was quick to say that he was alive and well, but offered no proof. Tens of thousands of Lebanese have already been displaced by cross-border attacks, but the numbers have increased dramatically since Monday, when Israel escalated its air campaign. Many of the displaced have come to Beirut, housed in schools and public buildings. The world is in ruins, says Noha Jamal. There are people still under the rubble in her village, she says. Malak Mahmoud Saleh fled with her family on Monday after Israeli strikes destroyed her home. People are mentally drained now, she says. I'm taking medication to stay calm, but we will return back home victorious. She wants Hezbollah to keep fighting as long as Israel keeps fighting. My opinion is that if they stop, she says, we will stop. That seems far less likely on either side than ever before.
Margaret, the strike targeting Nasrallah is just the latest in a series of attacks on Hezbollah's leadership.
That's right. And under Nasrallah's leadership, Hezbollah, of course, has come to be known as a state within a state. So it's not surprising that Israel would target him. They've done so in the past. And he came to power after Israel assassinated his predecessor. But Israel clearly thinks it can give it the tactical advantage. It would be a game changer, but it's one that could lead in unpredictable directions. Would Hezbollah unleash its weapon stockpiles? What would Iran do? Those are the kinds of questions people are asking tonight, especially here in Beirut, where we've been witnessing more Israeli airstrikes.
Margaret Evans reporting from Beirut tonight. And tonight, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister had a message for the up to 45,000 Canadians, permanent residents, and their close family who are still in Lebanon.
Please leave now. I can't be more direct than this.
Melanie Joly says the government has reserved seats on commercial flights for those registered with Global Affairs Canada. There are also loans available for those who can't afford to buy their tickets. For Canada, the U.S., and the world, the concern is that any further escalation in Lebanon could spiral into a regional war. And as Paul Hunter explains, the Israeli Prime Minister's speech to the UN today did little to calm those fears.
The attack itself, a clear and brutal signal Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has no plans on easing up in Lebanon.
As long as Hezbollah chooses the path of war, Israel has no choice, and Israel has every right to remove this threat.
His address to the UN General Assembly just minutes before that assault on Beirut. The question now, will there be full-on war?
The choices that all parties make in the coming days will determine which path this region is on, with profound consequences for its people now and possibly for years to come.
We are winning.
The rest of his speech, in front of a partially empty auditorium after a number of delegates walked out to protest Israel's war in Gaza, was largely defiance.
The real war criminals are not in Israel. They're in Iran. They're in Gaza, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen.
Even as the October 7th attacks by Hamas killed 1,200 Israelis, with more than 200 others kidnapped, some still held, the scale of the Israeli response brought fierce condemnation globally. Gaza health authorities say since October 7th, Israeli forces have killed more than 40,000 Palestinians, injuring more than twice that many. Netanyahu also took aim at Palestinian leadership in the West Bank for, as he sees it, fostering anti-Israel sentiment at the UN, which in turn he labeled a contemptuous farce.
For the Palestinians, this UN House of Darkness is home court. They know that in this swamp of anti-Semitic bile, there's an automatic majority willing to demonize the Jewish state on anything.
Netanyahu closed by saying the war in Gaza could end now if Hamas surrenders, gives up its arms, and releases all the hostages. If not, he said, Israel will fight on until total victory. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, who addressed the UN earlier this week, met with Donald Trump today. Trump has recently criticized Zelenskyy for not appeasing Moscow to reach a peace deal. But in New York today, Trump touted their close relationship.
We have a very good relationship, and I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it resolved.
I hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have, oh, I see. Yeah, but you know, it takes two to tango, you know.
The meeting comes after Zelenskyy received strong support from rival U.S. presidential candidate Kamala Harris yesterday. Now to some breaking news here in British Columbia. Grain terminal workers in Metro Vancouver have reached a tentative deal to end a 4-day-long strike. Workers walked off the job on Tuesday, bringing operations at 6 grain terminals at BC ports to a halt right in the middle of harvest season. The federal labor minister announcing tonight a tentative deal has been reached with the help of a mediator. The union confirms workers will be back on the job tomorrow morning. Some emotional moments today in an Ontario courtroom where the defense continued its cross-examination of the woman accusing former Hedley frontman Jacob Hoggard of sexual assault. The musician's lawyer challenged the complainant's memory, and as Thomas Dagla reports, the details were explicit and sometimes disturbing.
This picture, shown to the jury at Jacob Hoggard's sexual assault trial, highlights how that fateful night began for this woman. With a Hedley concert in northeastern Ontario, followed by an after-party. Then inside this motel, a sexual encounter that's at the center of the case. For the 4th straight day, the complainant, who can't be named, testified and broke down in tears, facing an often tense cross-examination by Hoggard's defense lawyer, Megan Savard. "You're asking the jury to believe an impossible story," Savard told the woman. "False," she replied. At trial earlier this week, the complainant testified she was raped, slapped, choked, and urinated on by the singer when she was 19. But Hoggard's lawyer shot back, accusing the woman of destroying evidence and fabricating key details. The complainant denied that once inside that motel room, Hoggard played songs on his guitar, which the defense described as romantic. They suggested she helped him take off her clothes, and that the woman secretly wanted a one-night stand with a famous musician. The reality, Savard told her, is you have no memory of the sex on the bed and you're making it up as you go along. False, the complainant repeated.
It's going to be, the defense challenging the credibility and the reliability of the complainant. And then, of course, if the accused person chooses to testify, then the Crown is going to be challenging that person's credibility.
Hoggard's lawyer described the whole incident as a sleepover and questioned why his accuser never screamed for help if she was really in trouble.
The defense acknowledges a sexual encounter occurred, and the Crown is trying to prove it was not consensual. Hoggard has pleaded not guilty. The trial resumes next week. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
In Ontario, 4 more people have been charged in connection with an auto theft caught on video. The owner was struck but escaped serious injury when a woman posing as a potential buyer drove away in the Porsche SUV. She turned herself in last week. Charges against the 4 new suspects include possession of a master key for unlocking and starting multiple vehicles. More damning testimony today about the OceanGate executive whose zeal to reach the wreck of the Titanic claimed his life and 4 others. U.S. Coast Guard hearings into the implosion of the Titan submersible have now wrapped. Heather Gillis takes us through what we've learned.
We will now hear testimony.
On the final day of hearings into the deadly implosion of the Titan submersible, more shocking testimony about the CEO bent on selling rides to the wreck of the Titanic.
He said I would buy a congressman, and basically the problems would go away at that point in time.
The vessel imploded near the legendary wreck last summer, killing 5 who were on board, including OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush.
OceanGate came very, very close to killing me.
Over 2 weeks, investigators from the U.S. Coast Guard heard from experts and former employees about a string of red flags around the mission. Questions about how Titan was tested, warnings about its carbon fiber hull, all unheeded.
Don't take risks that are unnecessary with faulty, and I mean faulty, deficient equipment.
Investigators also heard Rush resisted getting the sub certified.
It takes too long, it's too expensive.
Paying passengers, known as mission specialists, testified they embraced the risky sub.
I mean, it's kind of like jumping out of an airplane. I mean, you don't do it because it's safe, you do it because it's an adrenaline rush.
This maritime historian says OceanGate navigated cracks in regulations to push the limits, holes he wants sealed.
So that if you take a submersible out at sea, it's got to be registered in the country. It needs to meet certain requirements.
And on the final day, a revelation about the multi-day costly search effort 380 nautical miles off the coast of Newfoundland. The captain of the Canadian ship that launched Titan says he thinks he felt the ship shudder around the time communications were lost, information not shared with search and rescue. The head of that effort calling it unconscionable. Now it's up to the Coast Guard and the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board to come up with recommendations to prevent a similar tragedy in the future. Heather Gillis, CBC News, St. John's.
Canadian soccer great Christine Sinclair says she'll retire from professional soccer at the end of the season. After 11 years with the Portland Thorns of the National Women's Soccer League, Sinclair announced her exit in this Instagram post earlier today, writing, "Portland, thank you will never be enough." Sinclair helped the Thorns win 3 championships. Her last regular season game with Portland will be November 1st. The 41-year-old from Burnaby, BC is the all-time top scorer in international soccer and retired from Canada's national team last year. Many people are now able to access their own medical test results online as soon as they're ready. But in some cases, that means a devastating diagnosis.
That's not how you want to find out that you have stage 3 breast cancer.
Why some say difficult news should always be delivered by a doctor first. That's next. Plus, remembering Maggie Smith.
I am a teacher. I am a teacher first, last, always.
Tributes to a scene-stealing legend. And later, a golden homecoming for an Olympic hero.
I was asking who wants to be a hammer thrower, and a whole bunch of hands shot up, and I was like, yes, you know.
How he hopes to inspire the next generation. We're back in 2. More than 550 people on Prince Edward Island are sick after an outbreak of norovirus at last weekend's International Shellfish Festival. At least 5 were treated in hospital. The province is calling this the biggest gastrointestinal illness outbreak in P.E.I.'s history. More and more Canadians are getting their medical test results through apps and online portals. But with that growing access comes an emerging problem. Like Crawley now in the devastating shock of finding out you have cancer from a message on your phone.
When Beth Marchant was 32 and breastfeeding, she found a lump. She did an ultrasound, then got a notification from an app called Pocket Health the next day.
Just an automated, like, hey, your results are ready. Like, that's not how you want to find out that you have stage 3 breast cancer.
It triggered repeated frantic calls trying to reach her family doctor and led her to frightening Google searches.
I looked and I'm like, oh my God, I have like a 50% chance of dying within 5 years. Like, as a mom of 3 with a 6-month-old baby, like, that's horrifying.
In a different city, on a different health app, a similar experience.
And I clicked on it, and then that's when I saw invasive ductal carcinoma, grade 2. My world stopped.
Learning you have cancer can be traumatic. Doctors say learning it from an app doesn't help.
That is not the right way anyone should find out a diagnosis.
The hospitals have a responsibility to work with patients to prevent these kinds of events from happening.
Hospitals across Canada have a mishmash of policies. Some put the onus on the patient to decide which test results they want to get online.
Providing patients with real-time access to their data reduces the anxiety of most patients.
It was extremely hard.
That wasn't the case for Janelle Johnson.
I was devastated.
She got her diagnosis on MyChart, one of the most widely used patient data apps in Canada.
To see it that way, it was like a gut punch.
The company behind MyChart says hospitals can tailor the platform to hold back results of certain tests until a doctor gives the green light. But not all hospitals do this. Doctors and patients say that needs to change.
To get that kind of news and you're by yourself, it's difficult to handle, it's difficult to stomach.
Now, when Johnson gets a scan to see if her cancer has spread, she doesn't open the app until she hears from her doctor. Mike Crawley, CBC News, Hamilton, Ontario.
An outpouring of tributes for a master of the stage and screen.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
The roles that defined Maggie Smith's career.
No English.
Plus, in the wake of this summer's devastating fire, Jasper National Park is now open again to tourists. But as the community rebuilds, is the timing right? And a Toronto Raptors icon shares his story in a new memoir.
Basketball was my complete safe haven, my safe place to kind of get away from my reality of whatever it was I was going through.
DeMar DeRozan opens up about mental health and what Toronto means to him. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next.
If scandal is to your taste, Miss Mackay, I shall give you a feast.
Fans around the world are remembering the wit and captivating presence of British actress Maggie Smith. This performance winning her an Oscar for Best Actress. Smith has died at the age of 89. King Charles among those paying tribute to an artist whose work spanned 8 decades and included notable roles here in Canada. Sam Sampson shows us her legacy.
Do your duty to our school.
From enchantments,
I've always wanted to use that spell,
to withering put-downs.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Dame Maggie Smith stole every scene.
I shall place the sorting hat on your head, and you will be sorted into your houses.
Smith welcomed families into the movie magic of Harry Potter as Professor Minerva McGonagall.
She brought a book with her that should keep her occupied.
And brought comedic timing to Downton Abbey as Violet Crawley, Dowager Countess of Grantham, a late career role that led to wider fame.
I led a perfectly normal life until Downton Abbey.
But Smith's career spanned decades.
I am a teacher first, last, always.
She won 2 Oscars, including Best Actress for the prime of Miss Jean Brodie. She was equally at home on stage, including 4 seasons at the Stratford Festival in Southern Ontario.
She was so alive in the moment and spontaneous. And it was such an adventure every night acting with her.
Her ability to make verse come to life, help us understand the human situation in such a clear, in many ways unforgiving, but beautifully helpful way is something that I think will endure.
I do not do anything merely.
Her stage presence earned her a Tony Award, but the prestige did not end there. Queen Elizabeth II made Smith a dame in 1990. After her family announced her death, Smith's co-stars grieved. From Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe, legend is overused, but if it applies to anyone, it applies to her.
Enjoying ourselves, are we?
A legacy to be loved for years to come. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Edmonton.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. In his new memoir, Above the Noise, NBA star DeMar DeRozan chronicles his public struggle with depression.
It's okay to be vulnerable with somebody you care about, somebody you're close with.
But first, fire ravaged Jasper is rebuilding, but it can't do it alone. A tourism town needs tourists. But when locals lost so much, keeping your community a playground is a delicate balance. Mike Day is the owner of Evil Dave's, that's a restaurant, and Tyler Riopel is with Tourism Jasper. And Mike, first of all, your restaurant wasn't damaged by the fire, but still it took a lot of work to finally get it reopened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we were very fortunate, Ian, in the fact that we didn't have smoke or water damage. We didn't have any equipment damage that we're aware of. Primarily, it was a process of cleaning and then just getting organized with all the different companies that had to come in to clean the HVAC systems and the fire insurance companies that had to come in to do their work as well. And so, yes, it took us almost a month. And I would say we didn't really have any significant hurdles to overcome. So I definitely feel for my colleagues who some had lost their places entirely. So. Yeah.
And now that you're open, how is business now?
Well, I mean, we're certainly grateful to be open, and we've got, as many as 8 people working every night. That means there's employment for people, there's paychecks for people. It's a far cry from what we would have normally anticipated in September, but this isn't a normal September. So we're going to be grateful for what we've got and the fact that we can have guests in and keep the lights on. And that's what we can ask for right now.
Tyler, I know the message is Jasper is welcoming tourists, but your town still has a long way to go to really recover from this fire. Are you ready for visitors?
Yeah, I mean, as Mike was saying, his restaurant's open and there's lots of operators that are opening up. And when operators open up in our community, it means that our residents have employment and they have the ability to start recovery. Our social recovery is directly linked to our economic recovery in Jasper. So if we can have restaurants functional and hotels full and experience and retail providers seeing people through their stores, it means that our town can recover faster. So we are ready for people and we'd love to see them.
Now, I was thinking, Tyler, the visitors will be, I think, understandably curious about the fire damage in the town and in the forest. Will they see that?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, wildfire is a natural process, and unfortunately, the wildfire this summer impacted our town directly. So there are some impacted forests right around the community, but I think that offers us a really interesting opportunity to actually learn about the ecology of forest fire and how quickly nature can come back. We're seeing green grass pop up on those impacted forest floors, and Parks Canada is working hard to open up some trails even in those impacted areas so that people can really get in and understand that this is part of nature. And the fall colors are in full effect in Jasper already, and it's a lovely place to be.
Mike, in a normal year, August and September, I think, would kind of power your business through the less busy times in the winter. So how are you going to manage this year?
Well, it's certainly put us in a different situation than we would normally anticipate going into. I'm hopeful that certainly our regional friends and neighbors will come to see the town and to see what has happened. The forest, this is a natural process, and I mean, this fire is large and visible from lots of vantage points and lots of places that people would be familiar with, going to Athabasca Falls and going out to the Fairmont at Jasper Park Lodge. You're directly in what was a raging wildfire. And that, I think, it's fascinating to see. It's certainly the unfortunate part that we lost so many structures, but from a natural ecosystem point of view, it's a fascinating look right now. And I'm hopeful that people will come to, like Tyler was saying, learn more about it and to just take it in for themselves. Because for a lot of our regional business, I mean, Jasper's their backyard. They have vested interest in being here and a love of this place. And I think now coming to see it, it will certainly have a positive impact on our economy, but I think it will also have a very moving experience for those guests that are familiar with Jasper.
So, Tyler, people from Edmonton obviously are used to driving to Jasper or near Jasper in wintertime for skiing, especially on the weekends. So I assume that's going to come back. But you have a national audience here now, you know, people in BC and elsewhere in the country. What's your message to them as to what you're hoping they do, maybe even changing their plans for this winter when it comes to Jasper?
Well, that's just it. Jasper is well known and well loved by Albertans and Edmontonians, and Marmot Basin is scheduled to open mid-November. Consistently has one of the best snowpacks in the Canadian Rockies and uncrowded slopes. And I would suggest if Jasper and Marmot Basin and the Canadian Rockies was on your hit list to come do at some point, this winter would be the time to do it. Your visit will have a lasting impact on our community in the short term, and you'll be able to come and really support the immediate regeneration of our community.
Mike, let's kind of change topics a little bit, but obviously connected. You are one of the people from Jasper who lost your home in the fire. When do you think you'll rebuild?
Well, Cindy and I have started the process already. So we've got our application into Parks Canada. We have every intention to rebuild the house that we had and loved. And I have a really good timeline on what that's going to look like. I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself, but we're fortunate that friends in town had an apartment building with a vacancy that we were able to move into. And our intention is to have that lease until we can move into our house. And so we're very hopeful that it'll be a timely build.
From the first time we spoke to you, when you had just been evacuated, to now, you have been, like many people from Jasper, the picture of resilience. And Mike and Tyler, I wish both of you really well.
Thanks for having us on, Ian.
Coming up, a former Toronto Raptor opens up about his deep connection to the city that launched his career.
You can never take away all the great, beautiful things that the city gave me and vice versa.
DeMar DeRozan on his new memoir and his mental health journey, next on The Breakdown. Former Toronto Raptors star DeMar DeRozan opens up, revealing the roots of his struggle with mental health.
Never be ashamed of wanting to be a better you.
Now he's hoping to help change the wider conversation. It's all detailed in his book, Above the Noise. Anya Zolojowski sat down with DeMar DeRozan.
For NBA fans, it's hard to forget the moment DeMar DeRozan posted this on Twitter. "This depression get the best of me." The tweet, completely spontaneous.
Yeah, that moment, I think, it was more so me just kind of hitting the wall of feeling overwhelmed with so much that was going on personally.
That off-the-cuff tweet catapulted the former Raptors player into the heart of a growing conversation around mental health, the first of its kind in the NBA, even sparking systemic change.
Never be ashamed of wanting to be a better you, period.
The league created a mental health program, and today, every team has to have mental health professionals on deck available for players. Looking back now, did you expect to be a face of this mental health conversation, and especially in the NBA?
Yeah. No, not at all. That was never my plan. No, I never would have imagined that. I never would have thought that, it'll lead me down a road of, changing so many lives.
That road documented in his new memoir, Above the Noise. a vulnerable account of his past traumas.
I was kind of forced in that by me just going through so much, you know, kind of just breaking down, and me being broke down gave me a moment to kind of think and to myself and kind of get my emotions together and figure out why I'm going through or why I was feeling how I was feeling.
3 major themes define his story: love, loyalty, and loss. DeMar grew up poor in Compton, California, at the height of a drug crisis and gang wars. As a young child, he lost family and friends to gang violence.
What was it like as a kid having to push through that?
As a kid, unknowingly, it's hard to kind of process such a in-depth emotion when your brain isn't even fully developed, but you're normalizing the tragedy. And it's not till later when you realize the PTSD you suffer from, the trauma, the built-up aggression and the emotional responses you have to so much stuff is because the worst thing when you're young, you think is normal, losing people, seeing so much negative things going on. So it was rough. It was extremely rough. You know, that wasn't something a child should be going through.
Ultimately, it was basketball that provided an escape.
Basketball was my complete safe haven, my safe place to kind of get away from my reality of whatever it was I was going through. You know, you kind of could dive into imagination, acting like you was Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant out there on the court, and everything else didn't matter, you know, and that's why you'll see kids so young in the inner city just being at the playground playing basketball for hours and hours and hours because they never wanted to go home.
In high school, DeMar became a local basketball star. The sport blasted him to success, turning him into one of the most sought-after young athletes from his graduating class. And he ultimately accepted a scholarship to play ball at the University of Southern California.
The Toronto Raptors select DeMar DeRozan.
He was an NBA top 10 draft pick just 1 year later. A young player with big ambitions, proving it soon after his rookie season. When the team's franchise player Chris Bosh chose to leave in 2010, DeRozan seized the moment and stepped up, tweeting, "Don't worry, I got us."
Down to DeRozan, season high.
He lived up to what he set out to do, breaking record after record. In 2016, he helped the Raptors get to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time ever. The ultimate goal, an NBA championship trophy. DeRozan is known for doing something that no other franchise player did. In a stunning expression of loyalty, he said he wanted to be a Raptor for his whole career.
I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this organization, and I wasn't done yet. I'm far from done. I am Toronto, outside of where I'm from. I represent this thing harder than anybody.
But then, when a trophy finally seemed within reach, a shocking gut punch.
4 a.m. flurry of activity in the newsroom. DeMar DeRozan going back to San Antonio.
The team traded him after he had spent 9 years with the franchise.
Obviously, you have loyalty tattooed on your hand, so it's a big value for you. It comes up a lot in your story. I imagine it can be very hard when loyalty is not reciprocated. So what was it like when Toronto traded you, and how did that affect your mental health?
It was tough, but it was more so a life lesson. When you heartbroken, when you lose your first of anything, it sucks, it hurts, especially a place you wanted to be, you loved, cared about, and you put so much in and accepted you back, and looking back at everything, you can never take away all the great, beautiful things that the city gave me and vice versa. Some people would never, have a career like I had in a place like this and be loved in a place like this. And, that's all you can ask for, and you got to be proud of that.
And now, your 2019 NBA champions, the Toronto Raptors.
The year after DeMar was traded, the Raptors went on to win their first championship. a moment he had spent nearly a decade working towards, happening without him. Still, his best friend gave him a shout out during post-game celebrations.
This championship wasn't built in a year. And as this process unfolded, you lost teammates. One in particular who I know you consider a brother. What would you say to DeMar DeRozan?
I love him, and I know he's happy for me right now. I'll FaceTime him later.
DeMar has several close friends in the league. Male athletes who were never encouraged to express their emotions. Black men who came from similar beginnings.
You know, many men don't have these strong, vulnerable bonds with other men, and that's why their mental health is turning into an epidemic. I'm wondering how having, male friendships, especially men who are black men, black athletes, come from similar beginnings, how that's helped you.
Oh, it's big for me because when you can identify with somebody, one, you look up to, two, you respect, and three, that, you actually have a relationship with, it kind of gives you a glimpse of not feeling alone. It's okay to be vulnerable with somebody you care about, somebody you close with, because it becomes very therapeutic in a sense when, you have that one person you could talk to.
Basketball helped DeMar climb out of a traumatic environment, but his family shielded him from the worst and nurtured his talent.
I'm extremely close to my parents. I was the only child in the house. I'm my mother's only child. So growing up in a household with just me, my mom and dad, even though we didn't have much, or we was kind of less than a lot of other people. I had my parents, and most people I knew didn't have both their parents in the same household. So for me, it was kind of a big deal to have my parents, and I leaned on them a lot.
When DeMar made it to the NBA, his parents were by his side. His dad got to see him play in the NBA and encouraged him all along. But he died during the pandemic in 2021 after battling multiple illnesses. DeMar's mental health work helping him process that loss.
How has the way you cope with loss and grief evolved over time?
It's still tough, but once you realize grief comes with life, you kind of understand it a little bit better, in a logical sense of knowing, you can't go through a lifetime without dealing with some type of grief. It's how you come out that grief, is what's important from that.
At 35, DeMar has seen and learned a lot. His journey full of loss, loyalty, and love. Basketball weaving it all together.
We all go through the same thing. We all got the same type of emotions. And it's okay to be vulnerable and show those things. For me, just wanting to show I'm human more than anything.
DeRozan told Anya he hopes by sharing his story he can inspire others struggling with mental health issues. His connection to Toronto remains deep and says he's open to a return, even retiring one day as a Raptor. Coming up, an Olympic champion gets a warm welcome home.
I mean, the support was unreal. It's really great to come back.
The Golden Celebration is up next. Ethan Katzberg became a familiar face for many Canadians this summer from the Paris Olympics. He became the first Canadian ever to win Olympic gold in the hammerthrow. Now, for the first time since that golden moment, he returned to his hometown of Nanaimo, BC, celebrated for his win and as a source of inspiration. And tonight, that warm welcome home is our moment.
Please put your hands together for Ethan.
I mean, the support was unreal. It's really great to come back. I haven't been back to Barsby since graduating. If I can help grow the sport and bring that younger generation into a hammer throw or any event in track and field, any event in any sport. I was asking who wants to be a hammer thrower, and a whole bunch of hands shot up, and I was like, yes,
And here's his opener, Katzberg.
He did his city, his family, his sister, and this country proud, and won the Olympic gold medal. Who's going to ever forget watching him be at the Olympic closing ceremonies and the flag bearer for this wonderful country? Ethan, thank you. Thank you, Ethan.
I just want to keep improving, keep developing the sport in Canada and growing its attention. Yeah.
You might remember during the Olympics, Anya did a story about how Canada was going to become known as a place where, we dominated in the throwing sports. And shortly after that, sure enough, Ethan won that gold medal. The first Canadian, as I mentioned, to win in the hammerthrow, but not the last. Cameron Rogers won the women's event just a few days later. That is the National for September 27th. I hope you join me Sunday for Cross Country Checkup on CBC Radio and CBC News Network, and later that night, back here for the National. Have a great Saturday.